Yo, what's good, y'all? Omar Jeffs in the fucking building. Out here in the hood. Just came out the liquor store. You know, I was gonna do a video today. I don't know what I was gonna talk about, but I think I know what I'm gonna talk about. Tomorrow I'm gonna be in my old hood. I wanna do a little video about what's going on over there, because gentrification is not what a lot of people think. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I talk about gentrification, I'm talking about motherfuckers paying people to burn down buildings and shit, trying to move everybody out. That's what I'm talking about. Like, landowner buying out 2 properties and then paying somebody to burn the rest of the property out. That's what he did in Brooklyn. So I'm gonna be over there tomorrow, and I'm gonna show you what happened. But I want to talk about, like, I want to do another hip hop talk, right? Yeah. This is not really about KRS One, but I didn't want it to be, but I want to respond. And here's cross here first. Yeah, I'm right across from the church. I usually do some of my videos, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Yo sé de que si sale va a estar tocando. Yeah. So KRS One is talking about like you can't, that hip hop, anybody that's been around hip hop for a long time, the hip hop elders should be untouchable. And I think that's why, now I know why a lot of, man, this corner's always hot. Now I know why a lot of dudes my age and a little older wasn't really fucking with KRS One, like not buying his new shit and all that. Me personally, I'm a music fan first. So, like, I get inspired by hearing a rapper that I grew up listening to putting something new out, like Homo D. He put some ill shit. He's been putting out some ill shit, and I fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't discriminate. I'm not one of these dudes that's like, it's too old, you know, because even when I was in high school, they was like, Nice and Smooth is too old. I'm like, even back then, I did the number like, nah, you're only 25 years old. What you talk about? Pac is the same age as Nice and Smooth. If y'all fuck with Pac, then you gotta fuck with Nice and Smooth. That was my mentality, because if you're 25, you ain't old. 50 is not even old. That's like middle age. But, you know, niggas want, the dudes that was saying that, they want their own people to rap. they know they have like an older brother or whatever that raps. But it's not about supporting your older. You can still support your older brother, but still support the cats that lay it down for a long time. So whenever KRS One drops something new, I'm listening to it. I put it on my playlist. I used to buy shit, but you know, CDs don't exist no more. I got tapes and CDs of KRS One from 2001 on. I got all his millennium shit. I got the old shit, but I got like the millennium shit too. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna keep listening to his music, because as an artist, I'm a fan of him as an artist, as a talented person, as someone that you know, that does make sense most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, good music is good music. And there's no reason why Hot 97 can't play KRS One anymore, regardless of whether anybody's fucking with him now because of him defending Africa Bambaataa. You know what I'm saying? But so that's what I want to get into. you know, across the street. I'm gonna walk around before then. I'm supposed to go to Brooklyn, but I'll do that tomorrow. So, you know, that's what I wanted to say about that. As far as his explanation as to why he's defending Africa Bambaataa, you know, I've been in the Bronx here and there, but believe it or not, I've never been to, any hip hop spots in the Bronx. I might go. I want to go this Thursday because I'm on vacation right now, so I might go to the Bronx. But I gotta see if they are having an event this Thursday, and I'm gonna go probably. But to me, this doesn't take anything away from hip hop music or the stuff that was going on in the late 70s, early 80s. Like I said before, it's gonna be a black down Zulu nation, and unfortunately, so Sonic Force. You know what I'm saying? Because I still think that music was incredible. Like, not just Planet Rock, but Searching for the Perfect Beat, Renegades of Funk. I mean, all the uncut stuff on the album. I got the album. That shit's dope. As a fan of music, you can't cancel that out. I'm not a fan of canceling anything out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that shit inspired me. I had to relearn the old school hip hop just so I could understand how to put words together. Because if I was just, when I was in high school and I was just another rapper following trends, another kid following trends in rap music and hip hop, I might as well just not rap at all. Because then, what the fuck am I doing? I'm just rapping. I'm just doing what everybody else is doing. So if I didn't teach myself that, I'd probably jump on the drill shit. Trap music and then drill. I'd be doing trap music and drill music. Thank God I taught myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, to relearn. And I'm old enough to remember, like, a lot of the older artists were still putting music out when I was a kid. So it's not like I'm ignorant about that shit. But you know how it is when you become a teenager, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's around you and what they're listening to it has an impact on you at times more what's on the radio. But I always been a loner. I was always a leader, not a follower, you know what I'm saying? That's why I never joined no gang, nothing like that. But I understand what KRS One is trying to do with tempo of hip hop, but at the same time, it's kind of like real cultish, you know what I'm saying? Because he's talking about a separate hip hop civilization, and can't attack our own leaders. And I don't think, if you really know about the history of hip hop, and even in high school in the 90s, I knew that Africa Bambaataa was not one of the founders, you know what I'm saying, of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Because there were other, because I already knew about DJ SNS. You know what I'm saying? I never seen him, but I heard about him. I heard some of his mixes, and I knew about DJ SNS. I knew about Kool Herc already. And then, even then, you don't stop learning. Knowledge is infinite. So you go on YouTube and you hear some DJs talking about how they was DJing before Kool Herc. Now, I think Kool Herc did throw the first hip hop party. And as far as I remember, as I read it, as everyone else knows, and everybody in the Bronx will agree with me, there was no Zulu Nation there. It was just Kool Herc, probably his future members of the Cold Crush Brothers and a few others, and then the rest were just kids. That was it. It was no Zulu Nation or African Bambaataa at that party, at least from what I've heard about it and read, you know what I'm saying? But that's beside the point, because once all that shit came out about African Bambaataa and doing what he did to young teenagers, knowing, junior high school kids are still learning about themselves. You know what I'm saying? I was still learning about myself, so it's like you're basically trying to turn young kids gay when they wasn't gay. Like, it's one thing if you're born kind of feminine, you know what I'm saying? But it's another thing to do that, because you're basically destroying kids' lives. You know what I'm saying? And you're supposed to be like an older brother to these kids that you're taking in. And it's abuse. It's physical abuse. It's not even about African about being gay. You know, KRS One said that he said that Bam should deal with it. I mean, since KRS One is putting himself out there like that, I think he should deal with it too. Maybe he should talk to the victims. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. Like with me, I grew up without a father, so I never had nobody, show me the ropes and all that. I had to learn all that by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now I wish I had like an older brother teaching me something, but I had nobody teaching me anything. You know what I'm saying? A mother can only teach you what she can teach you. You know what I'm saying? A man can teach a boy certain things that a mother can't, like how to defend themselves. You know what I'm saying? How to really talk to a girl. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So these kids kind of looked up to him like that. You know what I'm saying? And the Zulus. And the more stories come out, like, you know what I'm saying, the more it becomes obvious that other people were in on it, or they knew about it, and they were just covering it up. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just Africa Mabala, you know what I'm saying? You're talking about like a whole circle, like pedophiles and shit, and a couple of other dudes that's fucking, covering that shit up, and that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's worse than that. I mean, these kids were physically abused, and they were probably threatened. You know what I'm saying? And KRS One's all about nonviolence. Then he should have stepped to some of the elder Zulus and be like, "Yo, what's going on?" I mean, I talked to first he should have been talking to the victims. I don't know why he didn't talk to the victims yet. So, I mean, everybody knows Bee Sting. I'm pretty sure KRS One knows who Bee Stinger is. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like, if something was going on in my neighborhood, everybody would know. Nobody fuck with that pedophile shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a crime. That's a sex crime. And they went after R. Kelly. They didn't really go after him because there's a lot of girls that he turned out in Chicago, got them hooked on drugs and all that, and he didn't go to jail for that. He just went to jail for the recent ones that he did in the late 90s and shit like that, and millennium. So I think is for KRS One to say that Bam should deal with it, like, like, I'm your homeboy, you gotta deal with that. Like, nah, you should deal with that shit. And I'm speaking as a not just a fan of KRS One, but as a student, because I defended KRS One for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Even high school, college. I never finished college, but everybody was always dogging KRS One. Nah, fuck KRS One, because I was trying to get into the temple of hip hop at that time. Believe it or not, I was calling Hot 97 in the payphone in the middle of the street corner in Ridgewood, Queens. You know what I'm saying? Because my uncle had moved out there, and then me and my mom was going to get kicked out, so we moved to his house, and I was calling up Hot 97. I kept calling, and the lines was busy. You know what I'm saying? All the while, I'm hearing Angie interview KRS One, so I was trying to get into the temple of hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? Most likely, I probably would, never know. Me being a knowledge dude, I probably would have joined Zulu Nation, but everything happens for a reason, and maybe there's a reason why that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Now I see why. Because I see the truth for what it is. I would never support anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of crazy. And KRS One really needs to, like, if anybody watching this, you know what I'm saying, share it, send it to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm speaking as a not just a fan, but as a student at KRS One. You know what I'm saying? As someone that was trying to get into the temple of hip hop back then in 1999. You know what I'm saying? Like, You gotta sit down and talk to the victims if they want to talk to you. Because obviously the victims are kind of mad at KRS One right now, and I understand that. You know what I'm saying? I understand that, but there needs to be somebody in the middle, maybe somebody that's cool with him and cool with the victims. You know, they sit down and he listens to what they have to say. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just real. Like if there was more than one person doing that, then and you still covering up, it's a black guy for the. It is in a way a black guy for that whole scene back then, not for the whole culture, just for that scene back then, for where it started. Which and I guess in a way it is a black guy for the culture. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, like. So I think that's what needs to be. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's gonna do it. I think KRS One's in denial though. That's the problem. Like he's like how a lot of people in the music industry that dealt with the music industry, a lot of people don't want to believe it. You know what I'm saying? Carsino don't want to believe it. You know, I follow Carsino, but he also doesn't want to believe it. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I'm at the park right now. I gotta wake up early tomorrow. I'm on vacation, but I'm lazy. Tomorrow I'm definitely do that video in Brooklyn. But at the same time, I don't want people to start saying that KRS One's music is whack and all that. Nah, it's just good music. I mean, 10 times better than the shit you're hearing right now on the radio. This is about his view, his philosophy. His philosophy is what I disagree with him. That I'm totally against him defending Africa, Bambala, and worrying about the culture more than the victims, because the victims were a part of the culture. If you can't protect the babies in the culture, if the babies of the future of culture are being molested or being threatened, or you know what I'm saying, or maybe even killed, you know what I'm saying, God forbid, like that's on you, because you're there in the fucking Bronx. You're a spokesperson for hip hop. You are. So, I understand, like we're talking about a crime though. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not talking about a dude that's gay and these teenagers were 16, 17. They was like 12, 13, 14, my dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, and knowing thank God I never been molested, nothing like that. But, things can happen when you're a kid. It could be traumatic, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of us not just rap music period, I think a lot of us are not normal. I think a lot of us been through some shit, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm not normal, but I'm more noble than most of you motherfuckers out here today, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I'm putting myself down, but I know what it's like not to be heard, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what it's like to be rejected. I know it's how it feels like to be different, to be treated differently. You know what I'm saying? Not because I'm straight. It's not that. I'm straight. It has nothing to do with being gay. I'm straight. But just other things. You know what I'm saying? Like a teacher verbally abusing you, sometimes physically abusing you, and nobody does anything, you know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. We've all had some kind of traumatic experience at home or at school. That's just a fact. And it's bad enough that an intelligent person like me had to go through that. You know what I'm saying? That's bad enough. But to have pedophiles out there doing what they're doing to kids, that's the future of the culture. And they already they already came from like messed up families and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I should tell you. Let me go straight here. You already come from like fucked up backgrounds, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Hassan Campbell said that he was already molested before he met Africa Bambaataa. So I think that it's a problem, and if you let that happen, then it makes it worse. We already come from a place who's been traumatic, about it, then you're going through that. That's traumatic. That's gonna make it even worse, and then you're gonna feel like, well, I'm a Zulu. This dude, I don't want nobody to know what Bam did to me, but I'm still a Zulu, so I'm gonna have to act extra hard, and all that shit. All that shit comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? And that shit's crazy. Like, and so I think KRS One needs to deal with it. I think Grandmaster Caz need to deal with it. The Furious Five, like they've been living out in LA for decades now. They haven't really. They still go to the Bronx a lot, but I'm pretty sure they don't have to deal with it. But they should address it to KRS One. At least go up to KRS One and be like, yo, why are you defending this dude? This dude, let's see what the truth is first. All KRS One gotta do is pull back and not speak to him, speak to Africa, and then let the truth come out, and then let KRS One decide later on. Like, that's what he should do. But I'm a student of KRS One. Like, I fucks with his music hard. It doesn't matter, KRS One is in denial, and I understand that. You can't really attack KRS One 100% just because he's in denial. Because there's lots of people in this fucking, and both throughout the East Coast that are in denial that Africa did this. There's a lot of people that believe he did it, but obviously if you go on YouTube, if you look at all the other people on YouTube that have some kind of connection with the culture or with the street culture at least, not all of them are hip hop. Some of the dudes that's dissing Hassan Campbell, they're not hip hop. They're just street dudes doing YouTube videos. I'm hip hop. I do music. I do videos, all that shit. I used to break dance when I was in kindergarten. So I'm official. I ain't no knucklehead, you know what I'm saying? But so that's why you don't see me attacking Hassan Campbell. Like, why? What's the point? Now, do I agree with him attacking Layla? Nah. But that's between them, you know what I'm saying? The beef between him and Star, that's between them, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know what Hassan been through, and there's a lot of people that been through that, and there's a lot of us that been through other shit that's traumatic, you know what I'm saying? So I would never kick down a man where he's been kicked around so much in life just because you want to defend Batman Bala, because he's not the only victim. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a bunch of other people that were either knew about it and covered it up, or were doing it. And some of them, from what I've been hearing, some of them were police officers. Now, again, I'm a hard-headed person. Yeah, of course, I believe that there's racist cops out there. You know what I'm saying? Look at this view. I like this part. See that bridge road? That's the bridge to North. I ain't gonna front. I'm trying to move back to Brooklyn though. It's worse than Brooklyn. But Brooklyn is crazy too. But it's not really much to do out here. But I know it's gonna rain later. So I'm not gonna. So I think the people who are attacking Hassan Campbell, you know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, how can you? And like I said, he's not the only victim. I think it's probably like 6 or 7 that came forward now. So I don't understand. Like, it's almost like you're clout chasing, or you're trying to get the YouTube channels. Everybody's attacking Hassan. Either everybody is attacking Hassan Campbell, everybody's talking about Dipset versus Locks. I could give a fuck about that shit. I really don't give a fuck. I'm a rapper myself. I don't give a fuck about that shit. You know what I'm saying? My partner, he put something on my IG Live, and it was cool to watch it a little bit. I only saw one video, and I think he was standing behind Fat Joe. You can see Fat Joe in the front. And the reason why I call my partner, he's my co-worker, but we did music together. We did a song called Another Day, Another Dollar. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to J Notes. He just got back from Turkey. His wife is from Turkey. They was on vacation. I'm on vacation now, but I ain't going nowhere. But you know, I don't give a fuck about that shit. I really don't give a fuck about, you know, Dipset versus Locks, because that shit is a distraction. Because what everybody should be talking about is African Bambaataa and whether or not there were other people. Now, in my other video, I told you what I heard from a credible source who was trying to do music back in 1989. And it was a form of music that they used to call electro funk. They started calling it freestyle around 1991, 92. They started calling it freestyle. They wasn't calling it freestyle when I was 10 years old. And he told me about this producer, I believe out there in the Bronx, that was doing the same thing. He was messing around with little kids. And this was before anybody knew about African Bambaataa. This was way before that. This is 2008. So, you know, it seems to me that African Bambaataa was, in a way, enticing other pedophiles in that circle of music or in that circle in general, in that neighborhood, to do the same thing. And it wasn't just the Bronx. It wasn't just the Bronx, from what I heard. He was going into all the 5 boroughs. He was going into, from what I heard, that, you know, I think I mentioned this in my other video, homie who was a pioneer of hip-hop out in the UK, I forgot his name, he committed suicide after the scandal broke. And it turns out he was molested by Bam. And I don't know if he was molested over there or over here. If he was molested over there, then that means African Bambaataa was traveling with his entourage and he was just doing it to everybody around the world. If that was the case, then Ahmed and other people around him knew. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy Ahmed. I don't know much about Ahmed. I know he was a member of Soul Silent Force. He's on the B Street movie, and he was the guy that was in the other room every time Bam was molesting somebody. I mean, he had to know, man. Come on, get the fuck out of here. Gay shit, that pedophile shit. But yeah, Bam wasn't the only one. And I would never, again, like I said in my other video, I would not name the singers that were molested because it's still an allegation, but it's a credible source. And, you know, if they're not willing to come forward, if they're trying to forget about it, because obviously they are trying to forget about it, although I don't know how they can forget about it now with watching the whole Africa Bambaataa scandal. I don't know if they've been paying attention to it. Yeah, it's like mostly male singers and one female singer that became real famous. And she discovered somebody else that was real famous. So, that is real famous. So, I can never name names, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to name the producer, but I forgot his name. But it's real. I'm bringing this up because it's real. I'm not just doing a video because everybody else is doing it. I do music. I know lots of people. And things happen, you know what I'm saying? Like, you meet people and then all of a sudden they did music. I met a lot of people that were doing music, but they all gave up. I never gave up. I don't know why I should, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I love this music shit. And yeah, I gotta write a couple of more songs. Then I gotta go back to the studio. And I'm gonna let you know about the album. But, you know, I feel a certain way about that. I feel like I don't think it's fair that everybody on YouTube is attacking Hassan Campbell. You know, like if it's a field day, you know, kick him while he's down. Like, nah, I mean, what about the other victims? You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't African Bambaataa's lover. And in African Bambaataa's mind, and yeah, for him, it was a rape. It was rape. You know what I'm saying? It was rape. It was rape. 12 years old, 13 years, that's rape. Dude was in his 30s, that's rape. So, I have to disagree with KRS One 100% on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Like, I don't know why you would say that, and I don't know why it's so important to worry about the culture than the victims, because the victim, and I'm pretty sure Bambaataa, this police officer, this producer, they're all still doing it. They're probably still fucking around with little kids, and they've never been arrested. I thought Bam was gonna go down. He didn't really go down. He's still in the Bronx half the time, if not most of the time. It's kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying? And we all do this music shit because we're inspired by what we heard back in the 80s when we were kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was inspired by the Fat Boys, Red DMC. I remember seeing Red DMC on TV, on American Bandstand, and on Reading Rainbow, you know what I'm saying? If y'all remember that children's show on Channel 13. Red DMC was everywhere. Then the Fat Boys blew everywhere right after that. And I remember hearing the Cartoon Crew. Out on the island, somebody would have a boombox and they'll be playing the Cartoon Crew, you know, the Gadget song. Not the Get Fresh Crew one. Slick Rick is from Brooklyn too. I probably did hear that because they both sound the same. I probably heard both. But the Cartoon Crew and the Get Fresh Crew, Dougie Fresh, like they sampled the Inspector Gadget song. But the Cartoon Crew, they sampled the whole intro song, you know what I'm saying? You know. You know what I'm saying? Like, the music was like real colorful. Like the Pee Wee Herman dance, I remember that song. Kuroski. Like, that was the only song he put out. Cartoon Crew, that was the only song they put out. Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick became famous later on after that. So we all inspired by it, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we have a right to speak out. You know, KRS One said something else crazy. He said, if you're gonna attack Bam, then get the fuck out of hip hop. Now, we are hip hop. I'm hip hop. We are all hip hop. We all performed on open mics or showcases or on paid stages. We all recorded in music studios. We all studied you, KRS One. We always studied everybody else. Like, you can't just tell us to get the fuck out, because that's most of us. That's like more than 50% of you telling us to get the fuck out, because a lot of us believe that Bam is a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? So now you're destroying the hip-hop culture by saying that. So now, who's left in hip-hop? The young kids that got molested, they're all fucked up. So they don't want to be a part of hip-hop no more. A lot of victims, they don't want to deal with hip-hop no more. A lot of the people who found out what he was doing, left Zulu, they don't want to deal with hip-hop no more. Like, nobody wants to deal with this shit, because nobody wants to deal with that kind of craziness. Like, what does that have to do with the culture? How can you maintain a culture and allow the future children of that culture, who will lead the culture into the future, being molested? Now it mentally fucked them up. So they end up in the streets, or they end up being psychologically not over there. And so now you have no new people leading the culture. Just you guys still there. Like, I mean, right now you still have Kool Herc alive, KRS One alive, Cold Crush Brothers and the Furious Five. You know, they still healthy, thank God. But I mean, by the time I'm 60, God forbid some of these dudes pass away, who will lead the culture then? Like, KRS One is healthy. He'll still be alive. He'll still look the same probably. But who else? He can't be just you and Bam. You know, we can't just wait for Bam to get old and pass away without any repercussions for what he did. And the other issue KRS One brought up that I have a problem with is, he said, well, if the leaders of America are not going to be attacked, why should our leaders be attacked? Nobody. Okay, let me explain something to you. Nobody's saying don't attack no leaders. And anybody, let me just say this. I never looked up to anybody except my older relatives, my mother, my grandparents. I don't look up to anybody outside my family. I never had a father. I'm an only child. I don't look up to nobody. I don't look up to no fucking body. I don't look up to nobody as an icon. Okay? And I was still, even after I became a man, I was still learning. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know this about James Brown. James Brown used to beat women up. He used to do drugs, but he used to punish his band members for getting drunk and high. So he's a hypocrite. James Brown supported Richard Nixon. James Brown wasn't that politically smart. He maybe caring about what he wanted to care about, but he supported Richard Nixon, who was involved in the secret bombing of Cambodia. And he still had us in Vietnam. He had the media cover up, but he was doing it in Cambodia, and then there's the invasion of East Timor. Put that side alone. On top of that, there's a lot of evidence that Nixon knew that John F. Kennedy, the president of the United States, 1963, was killed in a conspiracy, and that Nixon probably knew. If he knew that, then he knew who was involved with the King assassination and the Robert Kennedy assassination. He kept that to himself. He stayed quiet about that. So So James Brown is completely wrong for supporting Richard Nixon. Now another dude that was defending Zulu Nation band real hard was Chuck D, a Public Enemy. Now he kind of is quiet now, so I'm gonna give him a pass. I'm not gonna say anything. But Chuck D, he praises James Brown, praises African Bambaataa in the past hard. James Brown was not a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Very talented, godfather of soul, true. I got his music. I'll still buy his music. I got his music on CD form. So I didn't care about. I knew how to separate his music from what he did for black music and urban music in general. It can never be erased. He changed the game, and that's where the groove of hip hop came from. It came from his groove, his band. But at the same time, he wasn't a good person. He was not. He was not an outstanding citizen. So you can talk about him as an artist. Yes, definitely. But we also have to every now and then bring up the fact that James Brown had no respect for women and had no respect for his own band members and had no respect for his body as far as him doing drugs. And I learned how to separate the man or the woman from the music. I think we should do the same thing with Soul Sonic Force. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever African Bambaataa did, it doesn't erase the fact that Soul Sonic Force did great music. Nobody's gonna tarnish the music, but it's the image that I have a problem with. Because we're supposed to praise somebody because they're iconic and they're teaching us what? What has Bam taught the world? He hasn't taught the culture nothing. He hooked up with Dr. York. Dr. York, another black leader who used to be a gang member from the Marcy Projects in Brooklyn, went to prison. All of a sudden, we started following one of the Muslim groups in there, the Wahabians, I believe, and all of a sudden he became a cult leader. He had a bunch of people living in a camp somewhere in Georgia, and he teaching them, not have them read any newspapers, watch TV, have them hear only the speakers of him talking, teaching them that there's no such thing as men or women, or when it comes to sex, like we go out and have sex with each other and shit like that, like some crazy shit like that. And I'm pretty sure he probably intimidated people too, but most likely it was probably a hustle. Either that or he got brainwashed in prison for real. You know what I'm saying? And then he hooks up with Bam later on in the 80s, or some Bam is doing the same shit. It's weird. But Bam was doing this way before he met Dr. York, so I don't think it was more like Bam knew what Dr. York was accused of. Dr. York is in prison for the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying? He was having sex with everybody, including kids, as young as 9, as young as 6. both sexes, you know what I'm saying? So Bam knew, and for some reason, Bam felt that that's okay to be, you know what I'm saying, like on some sick shit for whatever reason, and that's why he hooked up with Dr. York. And so a lot of people for a long time were praising Dr. York. You know, a lot of people in hip hop. Again, Chuck D is kind of quiet now. He doesn't say anything about it. That's what you should do. You know, you should stay back, read the pros and cons, and then not let the emotions get the best of them, and then figure out what the fuck happened. The truth, you know what I'm saying? Like, truth to set you free, you know? And I love music, you know what I'm saying? And I would never attack KRS One's legacy. But his defense of what was going on in the Bronx River, and God knows who else was involved, and I kind of get a bigger picture now that there was probably more than one person involved, because Bam knew a lot of people in the Bronx. So this producer guy that I was mentioning, he probably was cool with Bam. They probably had sex with the same teenagers. That police officer that was mentioned by one of the victims that later interviewed, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get like a picture of like there's a whole ring of these people doing that shit over there, and probably doing it around New York City and around the world in Bam's case. So, you know, and it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's my take on the whole shit. Like, you know, I think KRS One should just, somebody should speak to him and have him sit down with the victims and hit the victims what he have to say. You know what I'm saying? Because yes, because you're saying because we don't go after American politicians that we shouldn't go after our leaders. I say we should go after everybody, and there's lots of people who have gone after Obama and Bush and Trump and a lot of people. So he's not even about that. That's like a side issue. He's just trying to distract. You know what I'm saying? A crime is a crime. A crime is a crime. And if a whole generation of teenagers in a certain part of the city or in other parts of the city as well are being abused, then we're messing up the whole future. Then we're continuing the cycle. You know, maybe one day one of the victims might decide to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying, to a kid. You know, who knows? Maybe Bam was molested himself when he was young. So it's for the future of the culture that you say you want to preserve. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You can't say that, and you can't do that. You gotta sit down and listen to the victims. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us are students of yours. You know what I'm saying? We all been through some shit. We all been through some traumatic experience, and we look up to you as the teacher, because you say you're the teacher, but you're just teaching philosophy. You're not teaching like reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, Melly Mel's teaching reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, who else? Tupac. I think I learned more from Tupac than I learned from anybody else. Even KRS One. Even, I dare say, even Public Enemy. You know what I'm saying? Because some of the things he's seen, some of the things he went through, I went through. You know what I'm saying? Like, Pac never went to prison. Not until that sex charge, he never went to prison. Neither have I. But he seen shit and I seen shit. You know what I'm saying? He ended up just about homeless. Yeah, he was homeless, but yeah, he ended up staying with somebody that was helping homeless teens out. Me and my mom was almost homeless, like all that. So I learned from Pac. I get more from Pac than I get from KRS One or a Public Enemy. I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't take anything away from KRS One and Public Enemy. Any new music they got out, I got that shit on my playlist. But I learned more from Pac. You know what I'm saying? Because he understood. If he was alive right now, he'll be calling Bam out like a motherfucker. He'll be y'all know Pac was turned up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll he'll let everybody know we ain't fucking with no pedophiles in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to the Bronx until you niggas take care of that shit. So I don't even know if I want to go to the Bronx either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm kind of pissed off about that because it's not about your egos aside. It's not about what you want to believe. It's about what's the reality. You know what I'm saying? Reality hurts. Reality is hard. But this is the reality, and this is the reality that we come from, that we live. You know what I'm saying? Like, domestic violence is that's, I seen that shit all the time. That you know what I'm saying? That's traumatic in itself. You know what I'm saying? That so when you say get the fuck out of hip hop, you're saying fuck us. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you, fuck you. That's what you're saying. So you're saying that all of us who studied you and listened to your music and really kind of looked up to you and inspired by you, now you're telling us to get the fuck out of hip hop. Come on. You know what I'm saying? And to all the DJs that's protecting Bam. I mean, y'all don't play Soul Sonic 4s anymore anyway. Y'all don't play no Bronx hip hop anymore anyway. So why are you defending Bam? I mean, you sold out a long time ago anyway. A lot of you DJs don't even play real hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So all you can do is get yourself relevant by defending Bam to make yourself part of the culture. You're not part of the culture no more. You sold out. All you do is play drill music all day and trap music all day. That's not hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some trap I fuck with, like T.I. I fuck with, because he can spit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like dudes that can rap, you know, for real. But, nah, nobody Hot 97 can say shit, you know what I'm saying? Because I already called out Hot 97 the other night, so, nah, you know what I'm saying? Nah. Hot 97 is gone. They almost finished, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, they got on their last leg. Like, if the ratings go down even more, that they're going to change the format. It's gone. You know what I'm saying? Good riddance, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I think. That's what I believe. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Reading the news, like, the ratings, because I haven't seen the ratings lately, but they getting closer to the bottom every 2 years, you know what I'm saying? So, they're irrelevant. They can't, you know what I'm saying? So, they can't say nothing. But, you know, it's just, you can't let that shit happen, you know what I'm saying? You gotta defend the babies, you know what I'm saying? Defend the future. You know what I'm saying? Because this is why nobody wants to come forward. Something traumatic happens to them, they never come forward. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to get attacked. They're going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to get bullied or whatever. Or threatened, you know what I'm saying? Like, what happened with Hassan, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's attacking Hassan, so I'm pretty sure Hassan, like, see, this is what happens when you come forward. You know what I'm saying? It's true. You know? And nobody's perfect. All these dudes that's attacking Hassan, I'm pretty sure they're not all there either. They probably been through some shit. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, or maybe not. Maybe that's why they're attacking. Maybe they don't understand. But some of them have been through shit. So you should understand that this is about being heard. It's not about what you want to believe or defending and idolizing somebody just because they're famous. Or you know what I'm saying? I don't idolize nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. You know, there's dudes out there whose mothers was on drugs, you know what I'm saying? Or whose pops was on drugs. Or they don't have a family. They grew up in foster care, you know what I'm saying? It was in and out of the juvie, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have to look up to anybody, you know what I'm saying? They look up to themselves half the time. But me, I always looked up to my grandparents, because that's who raised me, my moms and my grandparents, you know what I'm saying? I don't look up to no man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never grew up. I grew up without a father. My uncles weren't really there for me. Like, I'm an older child, so I don't have no older brother. My older cousins was in the army. They was gone, so I look up to myself. I don't look up to no grown man. So I don't need to. I know how to separate the music from the person. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all need to stop that shit for real. You know. But I think this video only goes 50 minutes. So I'm almost finished. So I guess that's it. I just wanted to do a video because I didn't do one yesterday. Yeah, my album, I'm gonna title my album Tales of a Survivor from the Struggle, you know what I'm saying? Might be a little too long, but I think that's the title I'm going with. But I gotta hit the studio and do 2 more songs, and then let's see what happens. But anyway, peace, y'all.